Next one.
All right, we're live.
Hey.
Howdy.
Hi.
Welcome to the Families of Change podcast. We are the McMillions, and there are 10 of us here at the... Actually, no. Only 9 of us here today.
Yeah,
But starting from that end, we're going to give our names and ages, and then we'll get right into this.
Hey guys, I'm Vaughn Kensington. I'm 16.
Hi, I'm Ben Houston and I'm 10.
Hi, I'm Bijou and I'm 23.
Hi, I'm Brighton and I'm 7.
Hi, I'm Remington and I'm 12.
Hi, I'm Emma Sarah, and I am the mother to all of these 8 children. Our Dave is missing right now, but I'm also known as Mother of Change.
Yeah, Clinton McMillian here, Father of Change. Just going to have a great time today. Hey, baby.
Sorry.
This is Princeton. Princeton is 4, and my name is Niall, and I'm 21.
And today we're going to be talking about our live event. Our live event we just did this Friday and Saturday. We just finished doing it, and
Last night.
and so we're going to be talking about restoring the waste places. All right, thank you so much, Princeton. So we're going to do should we do a kid swap? Let's swap it out. Stan, you're sitting over here. So we're live, okay, and this is our living room, and we literally just got back from Atlanta.
Yep.
We just got back from Atlanta, and we just finished doing our first ministerial event. So we've done a lot of things together. As you guys know, for those of you who've been watching us long enough, know that we do everything as a family, but we've had the privilege and the honor of being able to actually minister in a church setting for the first time, where we were just all operating in our gifts. And we've done a lot of workshop and training in the past together, but this was actually just really focused on ministry. And so, Hun, why don't you tell them what your part was in our Atlanta event? So the event was called Get Your House in Order. It was hosted by G. Renee. And we also are very grateful for the church that hosted us as well.
Yes.
In Austell. So everybody who volunteered for the event, if you get to watch this, we super appreciate it. We had a ton of volunteers. We had a beautiful banquet. The church supplied a beautiful banquet. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Friendship Baptist Church out there in Austell. You guys really hosted that very well. Thank you.
Yes, we were all very spoiled, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, so the discussion we had was on, getting your house in order, and I specifically was getting physical security and actually getting the physical aspects of having go bags or having preparedness for the course. And so basically
The unexpected.
for the unexpected, yeah. And so I concentrated on go bags, basically being able to prevent or be prepared for an emergency, having access to the individual backpacks. And
So tell them.
supplies.
Some people are new to our show, and so why don't you give them a little bit of your background? What makes you qualified to do, these talks on preparedness?
Yeah, so I'm a certified subject matter expert in various critical environments, and so I've been a SWAT team commander from prison system. So I was basically a SWAT commander for the CRT.
Oh no, not in there, love. Sorry, he's putting a video on for the baby.
Anyway, I was a SWAT commander for the prison system, the California Department of Prisons, and also been trained with the FBI, Navy SEALs.
Sorry.
Man.
Why don't we? You know what, Remington? I'm gonna go ahead and just let Remington.
You answered that. You answered that.
That's fine. Let's just bless you.
Who is
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's still on. No, it's just nobody. Okay, go ahead. Everybody has to understand.
This is live. This is how we
Pretend
operate.
that didn't happen, guys.
Yeah. You guys have to understand that we literally we had this big event. We all drove to Atlanta on Friday. We all went to Atlanta on Friday. Niall joined us, and he went straight after work. So it's been a very long weekend, and we just got back. But y'all, we're committed to doing this podcast. No matter what our circumstances are or our schedule. So we just want to be here because the Lord, just so that we're here and we're doing this podcast because the Lord has asked us to do it. He's encouraged us to do it. I don't know the right word to say it. We were instructed to do this podcast, and so we want to obey the Lord. And part of the reason why we do this podcast is to share our family and our faith and our foundational structures of how we've raised our kids. We're not a perfect family, but we're a godly family, and I always say I'm raising godly kids. I'm not raising good kids because what is good. And if you try to focus on raising good kids, then you're always going to be missing the mark, or you're always going to be frustrated that they're not being good enough. And so if you raise godly kids, you understand that godly people fall all the time. A righteous man falls 7 times and then gets back up. So go ahead and can you just bless it? Go ahead. Appreciate it.
Dear Heavenly Father, I pray that you come over us today. I pray for your abundance and blessings today for everyone watching on this thing right now, live or on replay. I pray that you'll bless this, no technical difficulties. Everything is in your will today, and thank you that we are going to have a great podcast, and that people will be able to learn so much from us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Remington. So, Remington, I'm going to go ahead and let's just talk about what you were able to do. Like, he actually got the mic. How was it, Remington, to be able to minister? Why don't you tell them about how the Lord had given you a dream about pastoring, and tell them a little bit about you and what happened when you got on the mic.
So, I first learned to be a pastor when I was in the RV, probably about 8 or 7 or 8, 6, 7 or 8. I don't know.
Just letting you know that Eagles too, and I was too, so I was basically the baby.
He was the baby of the household at that time. But the Lord came to me in a very vivid dream, and I was on a sidewalk, and I was walking, and then I was preaching the gospel, and I was still very new to learning about God.
Well, you were only 7, so you were still in your relationship with God. Yes, right. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know much about evangelism, but I just saw that I was talking to another person, and it was as if I was glowing, like radiation was coming off of me. I was like radioactive or something. And then I was talking to another person about Christ. I could definitely tell I was. And then my radiation, I was radiating onto that person, and that person radiated, and I just started radiating. I'm like, that's when I told mommy, and mommy's like, you have a calling to be a pastor.
But what did you hear? You're going to be
I was going to be a walking church. That's what I was going to be.
Pastor. You said a pastor of
a
walking church.
I was going to be a pastor of a walking church because, this was at the time when mommy wasn't writing books a lot either too.
My first book was 2017, so yeah, I was just maybe had
just
one.
Published
probably just had one book, right? Mm-hmm.
And so, it was just because I felt like God was telling me that we don't have to be in the church to be the church. The people are the church.
That is so
good.
And
when we were, I was the church. I was the church, bringing people into the church, telling them, and then they can bring the church to other people. That's the thing that I kicked off.
So when quarantine happened in 2020, it was like I felt the Lord just reminding me about Remington's dream about being a pastor of a walking church. And at that time, the churches were all kicked out of the buildings, right? There was
people were kicked out of the buildings.
Yeah, the churches were closed up, right? Mm-hmm. And so we started a program called Kids of Change, and he became the pastor of, and he still is the pastor of Kids of Change. It's a community.
First Von Kensington was.
He was the CEO, and I was pastor.
Mm-hmm. So he's always been pastor. Von Kensington has been CEO. He has helped out a lot too. Von Kensington has been, all of my kids are in leadership, of course. Mm-hmm. And so Remington was able to grab the mic on Friday during this event. It was called Get Your House in Order. And so my message on Friday night was restoring the waste places. And so it was a very holistic event. Who wants to, well, Bijou, I'm going to call on you. Why don't you tell them a little bit about, what the flavor was of the event, or what you were able to, gather from it, as far as for somebody who hasn't been there, why do you think they should come to the event?
I think that it was a really good, blessed time. It was Sorry.
Yeah, it was an
Bijou
absolutely
is so
great time.
she's exhausted, right? She's exhausted right now.
It was a great time, but it was it was definitely an event that took a lot out of all of us. And
We're tired.
We really try to put our best foot forward whenever we go to any event. So for me, even though I missed Friday night, just being there for the worship.
He came on Saturday.
Morning,
He's Saturday.
And being there for the deliverance session there with Reverend Donnie, I believe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was really, really powerful there. And then, of course, the talks and the panel with Giovanni there and the others was really, really good for sure. I'm really glad I came, even though I was only there for 3 or 4 hours on Saturday. But it was very much worth going for.
So on Saturday he came, and so that you know how the structure went. On Friday night, it was our family was ministering on Friday. He did a physical security, more of the when I say physical, I mean like actually the nuts and bolts of preparedness.
Yeah, the physical things that you can do like the action items right now. So everything is spiritual in the whole context, and so but there is actually physical things that we need to do and take care of. So this was really about the nuts and bolts of actually having supplies on hand for emergencies and when emergencies happen. And then we also we kind of did a deep dive also on a panel review dealing with actually the physical items to buy and where to buy.
So both days, day 1 and day 2, we had panels. So day 1 was Dave did worship, and that was beautiful. She is in her worship band for the church that she goes to, and so normally she's on the guitar and she does vocals as backup, but this was her first time doing vocals as a solo, so that was absolutely beautiful to see her shine. And when she's at work right now, but afterwards she was like, Mama, it felt so right. It was literally extremely just moving and so beautiful.
Yeah, and then also too, I'll just say too, it was really nice for us to be able to for one, it was the Lord gave me a present really, because it was my birthday, and so it was really nice for us. So you had
all the kids here.
Yeah, and so it was really nice to be able to have my legacy as our a family. We were able to do a ministry event together. So
that was totally God, because everything we do is about legacy, and so when I found out, I wasn't, it's one of those things where you're not putting all the dots together. So we were asked to do the event, and of course I prayed about it, and it was a big yes. And then I found out it was going to be on his birthday, and what the topic was, what was it? It is
getting your house in order.
Getting your house in order, and the focus was deliverance, though.
Yeah.
And so our, G. Renee, she's very much into preparedness, so I knew that he would have a voice there at the conference. So it was like he just moved on our behalf to allow us to do this on my husband's birthday. So it was like on his birthday we were over there ministering as a family, and I just felt like it was a big hug from heaven, and just him shining down upon my husband's legacy, because we got to be there together. We each had a voice. Von Kensington, he got to blow the shofar, and as a matter of fact, we have the shofar up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him blow the shofar and wake everybody. Bijou is so tired. Bijou, why don't you don't have to. She's like, please don't make me overthink hard, but you can just say it how what it was. So you don't have to give all the details about the event, but just tell them why you were glad that you went. Without having to give an explanation of everything. Like, what did you leave filled? Did you leave focus?
Yeah, especially like that first night, it was just amazing too. It just felt like it was so right. It just felt right, and it was just amazing. Honestly, I was just kind of looking around the room, and I was like, this is exactly what we're all supposed to be doing. Like, I literally just felt that. It felt like we were all in the exact positions that we needed to be in. Like, the way Daddy was speaking, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, he's really doing a good job. Like, he could really clearly say it. And then my mom, she brought that fire and passion to hers, and it was the Lord obviously speaking through her, and it was just amazing. And then Dave, it was almost cry-worthy.
Oh,
it was beautiful. And then, I was in the back, not specifically helping out a lot because I was also working with some things, but as much as I could, you know.
She was helping with just media though, with capturing some photos, and we had a photographer, a videographer,
and helping out, you know, just keeping an eye on, like, they had some video cameras up top to make sure they were staying recording and stuff like that. So, but even just that, I was like, I like being behind the scenes and doing that thing too. So I was just like,
she's very much a coordinator, and she's a line producer, so she's used to making sure everything is going according to plan behind the scenes. So that's where she shines, and that's what she was doing. And Von Kensington, he's always like, he's our lion. That's why he has a book called The Way of the Lion. And so go ahead and just blow the shofar. Not in Daddy's ear.
it's gonna be like right in his ear.
1 second.
Hallelujah! All right, like listen, I love the shofar.
So one time it's like actually I was coming up and
she's all bright.
was coming up and going to speak, and we were having continual technical problems, and so I just basically just.
Oh no! So specifically though, so he, just so that you guys know, let's go back a little bit. And seriously, we were having so many tech problems. I literally lost every single one of my files that belongs to me, ministry, business, and every single thing that we have. Everything got erased. Yeah. Anyway, Von Kensington had like 3 viruses on his computer. Like my husband went to go get on the computer, on Von Kensington's computer when he got home, because we were all limited now because there were so many tech problems. And my husband went to get on Von Kensington. After Von Kensington was frustrated, he's like, "Mama, this never happens. I had like 3 viruses like in a day, or was it within days?"
It was actually, so my computer was working completely fine that day, all day long. And the second that my dad plugged in something to do something, it completely like froze, and I couldn't figure it out for the whole entire rest of the night. And
but on top of that, though, you said you had 3 viruses.
That was what happened.
Was it that day though that you had those?
The second daddy plugged it in.
And that's when you realized it.
No, that's when it happened. That's when I guess
everything
it took
just happened.
Effect or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were having a ton of tech. That's not even all of them. But so when we were over there and he got up to speak, the slides weren't working at all.
Yeah. So when they weren't working,
and he forgot his notes. So he forgot his notes, and the slides weren't working.
Yeah.
And he's not like, he's a trainer at work. He trains all the time in the past.
Yeah, so anyway, so what was happening is that we kept on trying to get the slides going, and I went up to look at the person, the tech lady in the booth, and she's like, keep on rolling, like talking,
because he was
keep
trying,
on talking.
He was sweating. He was sweating. He was sweating.
Run out of things to think about and talk about. And so I just basically paused, and I see Von Kensington with the shofar, and I said, "Can you just call up the shofar?" And he did, and as soon as he was done doing the blast, the slides came up. She had no problem with it, and so it's the glory of the Lord, and that
was, I mean, the amount, and you know what, I found out while we were having so much spiritual stagnation. I mean, I knew that it was going to be a powerful event. But I stayed up till almost 4 o'clock in the morning because the Lord was giving me such a download, and I log everything. I'm a prophetic scribe, and so my commission is I have to write things down when the Lord shows me things. Like I have a responsibility, so I have everything logged. And about 3:30 in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, the Lord just started to, prompt me to go and start getting all my notes together and all my dates. And I'm telling you right now, it was just amazing because the Lord had given me a whole list of prophetic words since last year that lined up. But last year the Lord told me, I found the prophetic word that basically my message was restorer of the waste places. And while I was prophesying out there, just all I kept saying is about the highways and the byways, like bring them out from the highways and the byways. Like just kept hearing the Lord say, like bring them out from the highways and the byways. Well, when I found my notes from August 6, 2021, something else significant happened on that day, which is, a side note. But on those specific notes, the Lord told me that I would be restoring the waste places, and that I would be calling them from the highways and the byways. He told me that last year, in August of last year. and he reminded me. I didn't remember that I said that he told me that until I looked at my notes, and so here it was prophetically an entire year later that my message was called exactly what he said, and I was prophesying exactly what he told me to a year ago.
Yeah.
That is so super cool.
Yeah, so the Lord worked it out, and really, it's this was a culmination of just several years of us just working and just
Decades.
working it. Yeah, really, I mean, just kind of just working it out, and really for each and every one of us to be developed and mature in what He has us to do and to call. And so we're really coming to a time, not only in just in our personal walks, but also in a time of our society and where we are in the world, is that families, large families like us, and people of the world, people of the church, they need to come out and to speak and be open about who Christ is, and to be able to be an example and to be the salt and light of the world. And so getting our house in order was the topic of that, and so it was really important for us to be able to openly talk about not only our individual houses and get our individual houses in order, but also as the church, and to put the church really into understanding the fact that the Christ church needs help, and they need to also get into the point where we're all trying to be or to be able to affect our society. And so we look back at 60 to 100 years ago, and you could see all the main humanitarian major aids humanitarian aid organizations, and it was on the church. It was on the it was on the church. And so the churches have given over a lot and given it over to the governments and stuff like that. So we need to reclaim that as far as the church. And so it's really important for us as families, because the church is consisted of families. And so I just definitely think it's getting our house in order is really important.
Mm-hmm. Something else I want to say about the event, I had two favorite things. So my first one was I got to meet a lot of new people there, lots of people in Christ, and got to make lots of good connections. Got to talk to people about it,
sure.
And
and he gave a very powerful word. Like Remington was on fire, and as a matter of fact, G. Renee has it on 20 minutes of it. I mean, our part was about 3 hours worth of content from the McMillions. So anyway, he gave a very powerful word, Remington. So how did it feel to be up in a church, because he really has a strong call to be a pastor and an evangelist? So did you feel God's presence?
Yes, as soon as I walked up there, I was like, this is where God is calling me to be, be right here talking to people. As soon as I got up there, I felt like the Holy Spirit, like a beam of His presence just come over me. And then he just started giving me words to speak. At first I didn't know what to say. I was just, because I was put me on the spot.
I was just doing my thing. I was doing my thing, and then I was like, Remington, come up and give a word, whatever the Lord tells you. I want you to give a word right now. I just put him right on the spot, and I knew that because it was the Lord's prompting to get you up there. So
and so that's the whole practice, and you plan, you prepare, and you practice, and so
stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's right. And so being part of the Kids that Change pastor for that's established him to the point where he can get in front of close to 100 people and be able to speak and be on the stage and to be able to speak about the Lord. So
I just want to take a second and say hi to everybody who's watching. Hey, Ember, and we see Miss Maria's on. Alandria, hello, and so excited to see all that the Lord is doing in Alandria's life. The lady has got favor. I'm always telling her, Alandria, I always see so much favor. As a matter of fact, we're working with Alandria on a special project that we haven't announced yet, and she was just featured on CBS Atlanta, and she's also, I'm doing a shout out for my girl, she's also going to be featured on Good Morning America as well. So we're super proud of all that she's doing, and we're honored to be able to be collaborating with her.
And thanks again too for everyone that actually came out to the event, as well as for the Family to Change crew. And so it's just such a blessing. We had Trisha,
Trisha came out.
Trisha came all the way from North Carolina. My goodness, she drove from North Carolina. I'm like,
hey Trisha, if you're on.
She's hardcore Family to Change, Mother of Change. She's she's a legitimate just blessing to us.
That's for
She's
sure.
all in for the movement, Families
Yep.
of Change movement.
Yeah, she's an OG too, right? She's been around
She's
for a long
been
haul.
around. Since we were in Texas, she's been
That's
around.
right. That's right.
Since I was a few months old.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
has been around.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ember, I want to say hi to Ember.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, thank you to Faith. She came out, and Dion. And I mean, I don't want to miss anybody, so I'll just stop there because there was a lot of people that came out. So thank you to everybody. You know who you are. I thank you to everybody who came out, and Miss Maria, and thank you to those who watched the. Some of y'all were watching live on G Renee's page, so thank you for watching.
Yeah, so
and
the
for
support,
commenting.
the support is really encouraging for us. Is that it's really great to be able to not only to see that you guys have been, you're on here with us, and you actually, it's an interest to you, but at the same time is that it's affecting. We're out here to give some insights and give what the Lord's working in our lives, and it's really encouraging to hear that how the Lord's working in your lives as well. And so thank you for the comments. Thank you for following
And thank
along.
you, Haley. I see
Yeah.
she said Matthew 5. Yes, thank you. Matthew 5. Any specific scripture? You're talking about the whole book? 'Cause we got some beatitudes there.
Yeah,
we
that's
got
right.
some prophet words in there. So let me know which one you want us to.
I'll give a
be
shout out
looking
to my
at.
wife too, because man, the prophetic word was really powerful on Friday night. Hopefully we had some of that on video, and it was really nice. I mean, seriously, the Lord really spoke to her, and she's really dynamic, and
She's
it's
on fire.
really just proud of her, and proud of that she's obedient to the Lord on that.
So, and I do want to say that this is my calling, and I'm telling you right now, everybody was what we were doing, what we were all supposed to be doing. Our whole family was ministering together, and it was just a very powerful event. I'll tell you right now, and we'll tell you the story later, okay? But Dave, to be able to step out and be able to just worship the Lord like that, I had a gentleman come up to me afterward, and he was in tears. He was like, he saw like angels. He was like, I saw like the heavens open up. Something like, if you're there, you can write what you saw because it was beautiful. There was a lot going on in my brain, so I can't remember it all right now. But it was like he said, Emissary, I was like, I saw the heavens open up when she was singing, and literally like ministering angels were coming down. And so I just want to tell you this about the event because we have to wrap it up. She has a bread class. And it's his birthday, so we took the kids fishing today. We literally hit the ground running when we came here.
We got home at midnight, got up at
fish.
like 8 and
Got two fish.
went to the park and celebrated his birthday.
We went
and then
fishing. We have
we're
a
doing
podcast
now.
now.
I caught my first
And we're
fish.
gonna do a cooking course right now. Bijou does cooking
got two
courses, and she's waking herself all up.
Just took some chocolate espresso beans.
She's
literally
tired.
gonna
She's literally
start
tired.
this class in 7
But I want to
minutes.
say this, okay? Is that we want these? I would say it's not even my want, because it's never about Emissary's want or the McMillions want. It's about we understand that this event that happened, it was so right. Everything about it was right because it's get your house in order. And so much of what's being offered right now is so one-sided, and this is why people are left uncovered. This is why people, you can get so top-heavy in one certain area and just bam, fall over because your feet are not balanced right, or vice versa. Your feet are so heavy, but a big wind comes and you get swept over. And so this event of getting your house in order is really about fortifying the entire body, because listen, he came in with the physical, have your go bags. I mean, we have a full preparedness, prevention. We are very versed in this, and we've lived sustainably. We've homestead, we've lived without electricity, we've lived without water, so we are very versed in it. So we had all those elements, and I came in with prophetic, which is what's to come, what we need to do to spiritually get our house in order, because you can do everything he said to do, but if you are not spiritually understanding what's to come and how to protect your family, then the enemy can come in and even work around the things he said.
Totally.
Okay, and so I came in and gave that prophetic word, but all Saturday was deliverance training. And so in order to be in a great position, spiritually speaking, you have to be able to understand that the enemy can still send demons. Okay, we're not, as Christians, we're not possessed, okay, but we still have demonic influence in our life that we need to be delivered from. continually, and how to do that was all taught on Saturday. And it was so between the deliverance, the prophetic, and the physical, everybody, I had so many people, wait till you guys hear the testimonies. We had people stay after. Nobody wanted to go home. That's how good it was. Like we had to, everybody had to get kicked out because everybody just wanted to stay. We had men, we had women, I had grandmothers, children. It was like everybody who came loved it.
Somebody stopped me in the restroom. We got to end this because obviously my class is starting, but she stopped me in the restroom. She was like, "Hey, I was trying to talk to your mom, but your mom is very busy." And so it was really funny because we're having this conversation in the restroom. And anyway, she was just like, the thing that was kind of different is there's a lot of times she says the deliverance ministry thing she feels like has become a little bit of a trend and a fad lately, and it's becoming a little bit more of a fad. And she says, like, even in the last 6 months, there's been like 4 or 5 deliverance ministry sessions that she's gone to, like conferences. She said, what's different is this was basically she was talking about, like, it's not about just deliverance. You have to have discipleship, and it's like that we were just kind of talking about is like if you have all of this, like, you know, you could be delivered from everything, but you have nothing afterwards. There's nothing to follow up with it. There's no substance. It's really like you can, and it's also the same note I feel like with a lot of churches, like, you know, I've gone to a few churches, you know, on this East Coast side, and I'm like, okay, great, maybe they're, you know, study heavy or maybe technically discipleship heavy, but there's no spiritual aspect to it. There's no deliverance. There's no that part. It's like you have to have both. And my friend told me, it was like, she said, when you go to a church, she said her pastor always told her, or her mentor told her, you need to look for a place that has water and bread. The water of the Holy Spirit and the hardiness of the bread. The bread, if you go to a church and it's just bread, it's going to be dry. Eventually it'll get dry. You'll get really, really full, but man, at some point you'll start to feel a little bit like yucky because it's just like so dry. You'll be dying of thirst, and you'll be crazed for it. Then you go to a different church, and if it's only water, you're going to starve. You're going to starve, and
That's
it's going
so good.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
really
hunger
good word.
pains.
Wow.
So
Great
I
analogy.
think I'm like, we all just learned something today. I hope you guys take that away. That is so good.
Yeah.
Simple analogy, but really powerful.
We didn't even hear that till right now. We all just heard that for the first time.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but she
That was the
but
first
so
time.
just so that we can wrap it up because we're coming on the end here. So she said that she felt our event had both.
this other lady was talking about like the deliverance and the discipleship,
Okay.
and you know, my friend was describing this, and I'm just kind of putting all the pieces together
Okay.
right now because we had this conversation just a couple weeks ago with my friend. So
okay,
like,
okay.
it's all the pieces are kind of
Oh,
coming
so-
together. You need to have both. You need to have the spiritual aspect, but you also need to follow it up with that hardiness there.
And so that's great with the event is that we have the ability to in just a short period of time to go there and take the physical and give the spiritual, but also have the follow up with the courses and be able to come back, and we have just, you know, hundreds of hours of videos. And
We have a course bank that has over 300 videos. Our family has developed, and then G. Renee also has courses as well. But the actual event was holistic. Like I said, you didn't just go and you left, and you were like, oh, I never even thought about that. Like I've been doing. Maybe you've even come, and maybe a lot of people have gone through deliverance a lot of times. So I really think the tools that we're given at this deliverance session, I'll tell you this right now, and then we're going to end, is so much of the church is emotionalism. Okay, we have emotionalism, we have religion, we have rituals, we have whatever it is that people have that doesn't bear deep roots, and people are thrown about by different winds of doctrine, and the Lord is coming back for a purified bride. You can watch the whole message. Hopefully we'll get that online for y'all. But he's coming back for a purified bride. He's coming back for a bride who is, you know, departing from the world and staying pure. And so restoring the waste places is not about going and doing a whole bunch of works. It's about going and getting your relationship right with the Lord. It's about presenting yourself, and also, you know, just you guys, I understand, but if you guys keep doing that, then they're both telling me about the time, so if you need to get up, go ahead. Okay, so go ahead. I just want to finish this. So they're both showing times right now to me. Okay, so anyway, what I want to say is that this is important, okay? Is that the Lord is coming back for a purified bride. And he wants us to get our house in order. All right, he wants us to get our house in order. And it's not just about, doing religious things. It's about getting our heart in order. So in order to get your house in order, you have to get your heart in order. And in order to get your house in order, you also have to have consecration. And you also have to be able to be ready to be flexible and be ready to do what God says, even if it's not what you've been raised with, even if it's something that's completely contrary to what you've been taught before. And I'll tell you this right now, is that Clinton and I had to come out of so much wrong teaching.
Yeah.
We just had to come out of it and go to the Word and seek Him. And so this event is about going back to the basics, okay, which is our relationship with Christ, apart from man's religion, apart from denomination, apart from organizational teaching, because God, Yahweh, is a jealous God, and He will deal with the people. And so there's tumultuous times that are coming. There is retribution that is coming. The Lord is going to deal with the house of the Lord first. Judgment comes, and He's going to judge the house of the Lord first. So when we say get your house ready, it's because when the Lord does come, you want to have oil in your lamp. You want to be ready to meet Him as a pure and spotless bride. And this was all in our event, okay? Like all the things that the Lord had me to share. So I did want to give you a little taste of that.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So getting your house in order, not only just as we emphasize, not only getting your house in order as far as a building wise or as a community wise, but individually, is that the Christ is coming back for a pure and spotless bride made up of people, individuals that have a relationship with Him, right? And so it's that individual relationship, right? And so I really enjoyed that part, specifically about the prophetic, is that because it drew you in to understand the fact that God speaks to you individually, and individual relationships with Christ creates a community, a body that have their own individual skill sets, their own individual benefits, and for the body, but collectively very, very powerful, right? And that is what the Lord is going to do, is that He's going to create and build up a community that is completely and totally sold out for the Lord, and that's who He's coming back for.
And this event that happened, I mean, if we just told you all the stories, which we're not going to right now, I'll just say that it was God that lined everything up, His timing, and the fact that He did it on His birthday. And I didn't remember that He said to that He was going to have me be a restorer of the waste places. I also have in October that He was going to be having me, like my ministry territory is Atlanta, and so He told me that, and then so to have me come this year, and also He told me prophetically that I was going to be speaking to the ecclesia. I mean, He told me that this year. I have everything locked up, and so this is the intimate relationship He wants with you. I want to end with that. He wants a relationship with you. Yeah. He wants you all to be able to have a family, okay, because you had to go get ready, but He wants you guys to be a united family, not divided family. He wants you guys to come together in spirit and truth. We don't always have to agree with everything all the time, but at the end of the day, we always have to say, what does God say about the situation? And we hope that you guys will be able to watch the replay. G. Renee has 20 minutes up. You can see Remington on the replay as well, and then I put a little snippet on my page. You can see, if you go on my feed, you can see that. Find us also on YouTube at Families of Change Podcasts. You can find us on IG at We Are the McMillions and at Emma Sarah McMillion. And that is it for now. We're here every Sunday. We still don't, we're still working on the time right now.
It's on Sunday.
It's on Sunday. Listen, we're being.
So just put the on the bell for YouTube, and you'll get notified, right?
Oh yeah, follow us on YouTube, and then you'll never miss one.
That's right.
All right. So, God bless you. Remember, go out,
change
the world, and start at home.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That's what the Families of Change podcast.